Hey, how's it going? This is Stephanie.
This is Leon.
What do we got this week?
We've got a couple of things in the news, a couple of things that we talked about before. Notably, the Nvidia Shield got a price announcement. It's going to be $349, and it's going to be shipping on June 30th. And they opened up pre-orders. Initially, they were going to open it up on May 20th, and they decided, hey, let's do it 3 days early, and it opened up on May 17th. So we saw this handheld a few months back, and $349. What do you think about that price point?
I think it's reasonable. We got a chance to play it at PAX, and it seemed pretty good. It runs the Tegra 4, which is pretty current. Yeah. I don't know. I liked it. The graphics were pretty good. It has a lot of cool features to it. I think might be worthy. It might have more support than the Vita. I don't know if it'll have better games, but... Yeah,
that's true. I mean, the big thing about this thing was, right, that it had the streaming feature that you can play PC games on this handheld.
Yes.
Now, of course, there is a requirement that you have an Nvidia graphics card of, like, at least the most current generation, at least the 600 series and better. Yeah. Now, I had a crazy idea. Now, what do you think about the notion, like, imagine if Sony's streaming service could run on a handheld like this. Now, I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't, really, because it's just software, and it's doing most of their processing on their back end.
They have a streaming service?
Sony?
What, like their store?
Yeah, like for the PS4. They announced that you can play old games. So,
I don't think Sony would want to take away sales from the Vita.
That's just it, right? They want to support the sale of their hardware. But if they wanted, like, more people to be able to subscribe to their service and maybe pay for their games... Opening it up to other platforms, I think, would be a good idea.
Then why not go to Apple, too, and do that?
I don't see why not. I mean, look, the Vita is great for what it is, and it's fairly inexpensive compared to something like this. The Shield is almost twice the price. So I don't think it's competing with the Vita in that sense.
Yeah, true.
You know, but this is just a random thought. I just figured... That gamepad looks like it can handle a DualShock configuration pretty easily, so I think it would be an interesting idea.
It's definitely not for the casual, like the Wii U kind of player. It's definitely more like a certain group they're going after with this.
Yeah.
So I don't know, $350 is kind of a lot, but if you're into that type of gameplay, and because it does do like multiplayer, first-person shooters, so it's kind of worth it, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it does. It'll be out this month, so I'm sure people will be posting their impressions
I'll tell you one thing. I don't hear much about it in the news.
Yeah, I guess they haven't done a lot of push on it yet.
No commercials, nothing.
But maybe once it's fully available, we'll see something.
You getting one? Did you pre-order it?
I'm still, kind of on the fence. I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see how, when it's fully out and available, what people think. Get some impressions on it first.
Okay.
But let's see, what else we got? We've got the ending of Curiosity.
Thank God.
That was revealed finally.
I gave up on that I think people, they might remember that I talked about that.
Yeah, so we talked a bit about that in the past.
Yes.
And finally, the life-changing, amazing prize that Peter Molyneux promised was revealed, and the prize is that. Do you want to say what it is?
Well, they're going to essentially play like God in this new game, God's game, whatever it is. Right.
So 22 Cans, the company that made it, has another game coming out called Godus,
something like that.
Something like that. It's a God game, like Populous or something like that. And the winner of Curiosity gets to be the starring role of the new game, and they define what is allowable in the game. They're going to work with 22 Cans to figure out
so they're going to make the rules of the game, basically.
Their rules and their morality is going to become how people play the game. And they also said that he's going to have a piece of the pie. He's going to get...
He makes a profit. So if the game does well, so that'll encourage the person who won
right,
to really put a lot of effort into making a good game. Even though they're not programming, they're just offering ideas. But he'll get like you said, a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Unless they like quickly can the game and come up with a 2.
Well, they did say that the players will be able to overthrow this god.
Oh, okay.
So maybe this isn't going to be a very long reign. Maybe they're all going to get mad that he won the last game and they're going to overthrow him immediately.
That could happen. Certainly possible.
Who knows?
But I haven't heard or read anything of the person's reaction who won.
Yeah.
If they're just like, I don't know. Like they just have no clue what it is. Or
the winner's name was Brian Henderson. He's an 18-year-old from Scotland. And he only played the game for the first time the day he won, on the last day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently he registered for the game. That was reported in Wired. And they said that, he was... there were 30,000 other players attempting to do the same thing, and he was the lucky one that won it.
Well, so, congratulations.
Yeah. Also notable was that Notch, the creator of Minecraft, on Twitter, he said it was the most lame reveal ever. He felt like it was not a good prize.
I thought, well, I mean, when you build up something that big, no matter, I can't think of what it could have been without being a letdown.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Peter Molyneux, he does like exaggerate a lot. I mean, not in the sense that, I mean, he's just enthusiastic about the stuff he makes, and he described it as like this life-changing thing, and I don't know, that's life-changing. I mean, it's certainly cool that someone gets to star in a game, right? I mean, how many people have that opportunity? That's pretty interesting. Even if it's a short run or whatever, I mean, he gets to work with the team to make the next game. So that's a pretty good prize, and that's something that only they could have offered, right? They were in a position to allow someone to do that.
Yes.
So that's kind of unique in that sense. I'm sure you would like to be in that role.
I would like to be god of the universe.
The real universe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not a gaming universe?
I don't like to limit myself.
You don't want to draw the lines there.
I'm thinking big here.
I'm not surprised. Why am I not surprised? What else do we got? We got some more Atari news, right? Atari is still bankrupt.
Still?
Still bankrupt.
I went out and bought some Atari things. I have a new iPad Atari jacket.
I noticed that.
And some Atari headphones. Thinking my $20 will save the company.
You're going to stock up on stuff while it's still there. Before it completely fades into obscurity, right? Well, yeah, I mean, apparently they declared bankruptcy back in January. And they've been looking for buyers. They want someone to like...
I can't believe they have to look for buyers.
They apparently courted more than 180 potential buyers, and only 15 of them actually came back with an offer.
Wow.
And Atari considered none of them like good enough. So I think what's going to happen next is they're going to auction off their properties one by one.
Okay.
The same way that maybe THQ was broken up. They're just going to put out each of their properties or IPs up for bid over a 4-day period in July.
So they've mentioned games like Test Drive and some of their bigger games, which technically were not their games originally because they acquired them from other publishers. But did they mention anything about like Battlezone and all the original arcade?
Or Tempest or Asteroids or Centipede, all the stuff that people think of Atari. Like original Atari games. I haven't seen anything about their classics catalog. I mean, I don't know if that stuff's being bundled together as like a single offering, or if they're going to try to piece that out.
Or how about their online apps they have? They released a couple last year.
Yeah.
And then they have that website, Atari like Evolution or something, sponsored with Microsoft. I wonder if that's going to continue or...
This is all stuff that I imagine is up for grabs.
The Flashback console.
Yeah, right.
I'm wondering, so they just released the Flashback 4, I think it was, last Christmas. And that's basically an all-in-one Atari 2600 machine.
Yeah.
But I wonder if like that contract allows them to make more of those, or is that Flashback 4 the last one now?
I think until the dust settles on this, it's going to be it for now. But who knows? Maybe they'll look for ways to keep making some revenue until this all shakes out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, hopefully they don't wait too long because we're gonna forget what Atari is.
Right. Yeah. So speaking of old consoles, you had a project to resurrect an old console.
Okay.
Right.
I did. So a couple of months ago, we talked about an app for the iPad called Vectrex Regeneration.
Yep.
And so what my idea was, it was kind of a little fantasy of mine to take like an iCade arcade cabinet and turn it into like a Vectrex machine.
That sounds like a good idea. Seems like a natural.
Yeah, I mean, I was always a fan of... I own a Vectrex, and I always liked that console. And so when the Vectrex Regeneration came out, I was pretty excited about that. And so I brain schemed a little bit, and with the help of your broken Vectrex console.
Yeah, I had a broken Vectrex.
Yeah, unfortunately, that didn't make it through a storm.
Yeah.
So I gutted it and I kind of modded it a little bit to fit an iPad.
Right.
And so I built this Vectrex case that I'll show. So
yeah, let's take a look at it.
Let's start with the console. So right now it's hollow because my iPad is sitting right here. But I'll show a little demo of how this works. But this is a Vectrex.
The shell of an original Vectrex.
Yes. So I hollowed it out. I had to do a lot of cutting because there's a ton of parts in here and plastic things. So I did upload a video of me taking this apart. It's in my channel in case anyone wants to see it. I did it fast because it took me a couple hours to take this apart. Basically, so I hollowed it out. It's in two pieces, and I have one screw that holds it together. And there's a shell inside that the iPad fits into with some Velcro to hold it into place. And the speaker I was able to save. So this is the original speaker in here.
Yeah, it actually works coming out of the iPad.
Yeah, I have the I modded the speaker to a headphone jack, so that works right into the iPad's output. And the controls are the only really major change I had to make to this thing. Also, the power switch doesn't work. You have to still power it from here. There's some limitations. So the controller, I opted on doing step one, which was to mod a iCade controller to work with the Vetrix. So rather than take like the 8-bitty, which I thought about doing, or some of the other controllers, I started kind of simple with the iCade controller.
Now that's the iCade core.
Yes.
And you know, it syncs to an iPad, any iPad over Bluetooth normally.
It does, yeah.
And of course, the Vectrex app supports iCade controls, so that was a perfect fit. And what you did is create an awesome looking matching label to go with.
Yeah, this was a quick. I took a look at the original controller and trying to copy the design a little bit. This is kind of a rough label. I don't have the tools to print a professional sheet just yet, so this is kind of like inkjet sticky paper, but it peels right off, and it works. I actually changed the buttons out. I want to thank Sid. He donated the buttons from his ex-arcade.
Big ups to Sid.
And if you know how fussy I am about these clicky buttons, these sound pretty decent. I like it.
Yeah, so in addition to being better buttons, it's also a black color, which matches the look of the original Vectrex controller.
Yeah, I mean, the red, white, and all that didn't really go.
Yeah.
And, you know, the joystick, they don't make silver, at least not that I know of, to fit this type of... I think this is like a JLF knockoff controller. But the stick top is the closest I can find to kind of matching the look and feel. So I think it's kind of close. The nice thing about it is that it does fit nicely with the Vetrix machine. So I think it's a nice little pairing. Also, mod up a little fake cartridge.
Yep.
So this is Vectrex Regeneration. It's a dummy cart. There's nothing in here. It's actually a semi-working game, maybe, minus the corrosion.
Right, we'll see.
But I plug it in. It's just for aesthetics, really. Nothing else more.
It's a nice finishing touch.
So, you know, eventually I would like to take it a step further and actually mod the original controller with the Bluetooth iCade specifications in there.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, that costs money and
Future project.
Future project. That's one day.
The end result's pretty good though.
Yeah.
You end up with a Vectrex cabinet that has, you know, a very similar look to the original. Not 100%, but a pretty reasonable facsimile of it, in addition to all the games that are in there. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, and I we recently showed it at Digital Press in New Jersey, and they had a Vectrex weekend kind of thing going on. They had a lot of Vetrix on display, so it got good response. People are intrigued by it.
Well, I think it's time to ask you another question.
Really?
Yeah, I you know, it's funny. We've had this question kicking around for a little while. So let me phrase it if I could. Are you discouraged from playing a game, even just a little bit, if there's no achievements being offered by the game?
Okay, that's a good question. Xbox recently, the Xbox One, said they're going to redo their whole achievement thing. I'm not big on the achievements, especially because I know people cheat at them, and you know, there's a way to hack those games. Right. So, you know, I'm not. I do like to try to get them because I do like to increase, especially when compared to my friends who I know don't cheat. So I like to, you know, it's bragging rights.
Are you concerned about individual achievements, or are you looking at your overall score?
I just look for the overall score.
Your gamer score. You want to try to pad that.
It's more, I guess, quantity over quality. If I see an achievement, it's just going to require too much work. I don't bother. I'm not OCD about it, where it's like, oh, there's 12 achievements. I did 10. I have to get these last 2. You know, I might try for it. If I can't, I move on.
Interesting. So do you like if you finish a game and you see some achievements left that you didn't get, you're not tempted to go back and try to get them?
Usually not. No. I do like it when you do get achievements. I like there's a good feeling about it. Like, 'cause you are, you know, it's like a prize. Like, oh wow, I did this. Cool. Right. But you know, I like them though. I think there are some games where I was probably not going to continue playing, but because there was like a few achievements, I figured why not. Okay. Maybe I wouldn't have played this game until it said, well, if you get 10,000 points, you're going to do this, and I was like almost there, so maybe I had to play a little bit longer than I should have.
Interesting. That's pretty good.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't think it discourages me from playing the game. I mean, if it's a good game, of course, I still want to play it. But I think I am a little disappointed, like just a bit. I think this happened recently, actually, with a certain iOS game. Yeah. I mean, I completed the game, and when I was done, I noticed, hey, there's no achievements for finishing the game. There's nothing that I like. You know, I didn't get any points on my score for doing that. And you know, typically the way I play a game is I'll play it through naturally, and I notice achievements get unlocked as I go along. So I allow them to, and I try to allow them to happen naturally if I can. I don't go out of my way to like get every last one, at least on the first playthrough. But when I'm done, I do like to look at the list and see, like, hey, what's missing? Like, what could I have gotten if I just did a few things? And you know, if it's reasonable, I'll go back and knock them out. Why not?
Yeah, because some of them are easy, like look at the credits and you get an achievement for that.
Yeah, or visit their webpage.
Yeah, or, like those are easy. I mean,
you know, like lose the game with like no points or something like that.
Some of those I find fun. Like they give you little challenges. Yeah. You know, last 1 minute without killing an enemy or something. Those are kind of fun. Yeah,
or you know, how fast can you end the game? Like we saw that one recently in
that's right, yeah,
one of the titles. But yeah, I don't know. There was an opinion piece on Kotaku recently. Someone felt that achievement hunting was ruining his game playing experience. You know, they felt like you know, hours were spent just chasing, you know, these achievements to get more points on his total score, and these are hours that he could have spent playing like more pleasurable games rather than, you know, just.
Well, he didn't have to.
But he felt like he was compelled to do it. I don't know. I guess it was just, you know, he just wanted to get a higher score. That was like his score, his high score that he wanted to boost. So I guess that actually connects to another question: is have you ever played any games that you just didn't like at all, just to be able to get the points or get the achievements for them?
All right, so I picked up a game and noticed there were achievements, but the game is kind of horrible. But I figured, let me try to get the achievements anyway.
Yeah. Anything?
I would say probably not, unless they were easy, like we said. Unless they gave me points for starting the game up, or like quick game achievement points.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. I'm not that big into the whole achievement point things.
Yeah, personally, I can't think of any games like that either. I either want to play the game or I'm not that interested in playing it at all.
Who has the time, right?
I only want to play games that I like, or at least try to do that. All right, well, it's just interesting to reflect on that. Achievements.
I like achievements though. It's funny when I go back to playing old games like for Nintendo and Genesis. I feel like, I wish these games had achievements.
Right.
But especially like in Super Mario Brothers, when there were so many little things you could achieve, and the only way back then were to just like tell your friends about it or physically show them. But I don't know. It would kind of be fun actually to go back and add like achievement points in some of these games. Yeah, it could happen. I think, is Nintendo doing that on their handhelds?
I don't know.
Some of their re-releases.
I haven't heard about that.
Okay.
I don't see any kind of gamer score on Nintendo, unless there isn't. I just don't know it. But so what else we got?
So I figured we'll end. We'll take a look at. We usually do like game reviews. So today I figured to try something a little different.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I want to talk about it, because I do like it, it's called the Roku 3.
The Roku 3.
So it's kind of new. It came out about a month ago. And grab it. So for anyone who doesn't know what Roku is, it is a streaming media player. So you hook this up to your TV. If you've seen like the Apple TV or Western Digitals, there's lots of knockoffs and there's tons of these things. Roku has been around a while. They're on the 3rd series now. I owned the Roku 2, XS, I think it was. So I originally started with that, and I didn't really care for it too much. So I ended up getting rid of it because I never used it. So recently, Time Warner Cable, which is what I have here, they created an app which lets you watch their cable channels on the Roku. So I figured, let me see if I can go cable box-less.
You want to be a cord cutter.
I want to be a cord cutter. I want to eliminate my cable box. I don't use the DVR in the cable box, so that's not an issue for me. And I don't subscribe to like any special channels or pay-per-views or anything like that. So, and plus the boxes are always sluggish and they're always resetting. They're junk, those boxes.
Yeah.
And
they feel like it.
They feel like they're sucking energy out of my... It's just so hot, those things. I don't know.
Right, so that was your
It just feels like it's old technology. This feels new to me. So
that was your motivation for wanting to get this. You wanted to get it as a streaming box that you can hook up to your TV.
And
to
that
use
you
as
can put anywhere,
service.
too. Because it works through Ethernet or Wi-Fi. So in case, say, you want to watch cable in the bedroom, you don't have to rent another cable box. You can just add this.
Right.
Now, the downside is, as far as Time Warner's app is, it's different. It's more like the iPad app, or if you've used any of the other mobile channels. It's done a little different, but I won't get into that because that's Time Warner's business. But as far as the Roku 3, it is a lot faster than the 2. So if you used any of the versions of the 2, this is at least twice, maybe 4 times as fast. So that's really nice. They did add a headphone jack on the remote control, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's neat. In case you want to listen you're in bed and you don't want to leave the volume up, you can just plug into the remote and listen. Yeah,
it's kind of neat. Not something I'd use, but I'm sure there's lots of people who want to
people ask for
something like that. And this version, the 3 right now, is the only one that has it, because they discontinued the XS model, which this replaced the Roku 2 XS. So this has Bluetooth and IR. No, this has Bluetooth, but you can use an IR remote control with the Roku. So
if you have like a universal,
like those Harmony remotes will work with the Roku. And I noticed one thing, because I haven't used the 2 in a while since I got this. They redid the menu, so it's a lot cleaner now. Mm-hmm. It comes packed in with Angry Birds. So before, they used to give you Angry Birds, I think just the regular Angry Birds game. Now they give you Angry Birds Space. Mm-hmm. And this works like a Wiimote, so you just kind of wave it around. You should probably put the strap on it. I don't like the strap, so I don't mind. I'm not going to throw it intentionally. Mm-hmm. What else?
It's also got support for local media files, right? We can plug in. We tried plugging in some video files into it to see how well it plays back.
Right. So the great thing about this, it has a USB port that you can plug a hard drive in there, or you can put the USB stick like we did.
Right.
And yeah, we played. It has a USB player built in, so you can play music or video files.
Yeah, and it supports MP4s and MKVs. Those played without any hitches. AVI we found does not work.
AVI did not work. Right.
The only problem with the video playback was that some of the audio codecs aren't supported.
Yeah, that we ran into some issues with that.
So the video file played, but there was no sound, and that was probably due to licensing issues. Maybe it didn't support the surround sound soundtrack.
That's possible. Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
And subtitles, I think it does support subtitles.
I didn't see any option to turn it on.
No. I have to check on that. But that's important for some people.
But it does they do have a Plex app.
They do, and I don't know much about Plex, so this is new to me too. And I understand that's a third party app for this, but as far as the capabilities this thing can do, so Plex is basically a media streamer. You can stream video, you can stream media from your computer.
Right, so your computer does the heavy lifting work of being compatible with all those different video files and converting it on the fly and streaming it to the box so that any file can play.
Any file,
as long as it's on your
music
computer.
Or video, as long as you have the Plex server set up on your browser.
Yeah.
You just drag the videos in there, and it's all anytime you want on the Roku or on your iPad or anything else, because Plex is like multi-platform. So that's another big bonus with this. It's HDMI out only, which is a difference from the last model.
Right.
So if your TV's component or anything like that, then you won't be able to use this unless there's a special cable you can get, which Roku might sell. It is dual band wireless and Wi-Fi. I think it's like BGN, whatever. I guess that's kind of normal at this point. What else? Micro SD, which I believe only this has, or the XS, the previous model. So you can store extra channels or games on it. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, so all right. So the downsides to this. No, it's not it. Now that you say that. So a lot of people don't like this because it doesn't have a YouTube app.
So that is pretty essential.
It is kind of. That's the one fault I have with this. Now there are ways around it. There's sometimes apps sneak out on their store. They do have a kind of a closed store environment. So sometimes people come up with these YouTube hack,
like an unofficial
apps.
YouTube app.
Yeah, but it gets pulled. Roku will pull it, so you can't. You can enjoy it for a while and then it's gone. So, but there is something you can use that'll stream a YouTube video onto here. You could use Plex. That works. And then there's also, I think, the Bless channel, I think it's called, or Bliss or something like that. And that's like super simple. You just load it up and you can transfer a YouTube video to stream right through this. So there's ways around it. No Justin TV app and no Twitch TV app. So those are another big faults, which some people like. They do have unofficial apps again, kind of like how YouTube is. So I use those. They work pretty good until Roku yells at them or pulls them out. I think it's fine.
Now, if they pull them, do you lose them?
I don't know. I think so. I think you don't lose the app, but when you go to load it, it says like this is no longer in service.
Oh, interesting. So they can do that. They can block apps.
They can. They've done that to a few of the ones I had installed on my 2 that were still here when I copied my profile over.
Interesting.
So yeah, overall, I like this. I think it's like $100. You could probably get it on sale sometimes. It's definitely a cool little gadget until someone comes up with something a little bit better. It's not going to replace your full-fledged PC, HTCP, or whatever they call that.
HTPC.
Okay.
Home theater PC.
Do you have one of those?
No.
Okay. So, but this is cheap and, it's easy to use. It's very straightforward. I would say it's probably, if you're a real hardcore techie, maybe you won't like this. It's a little limiting. But for someone who likes something a little simple and easy to set up and not worry about tweaking things and stuff.
If your goals are within the realm of what this can do,
there's plenty
it fills it well.
to watch on there. Netflix, Amazon, there's tons of stuff on there.
Yeah. Cool. Good deal.
Yep. I like it. I get thumbs up.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Right?
Okay. I have nothing else to talk about.
You sure?
All right. Well,
I don't know. For now.
Please share the video, I guess, and like the video and everything else. And if you are liking the show, leave us comments. We like comments and we answer them.
Yep.
Unlike some
wherever
people.
Possible.
And that's it. So until next time.
Yeah. We'll call it here.
Yeah, this is it. This is
all right.
The end.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, bye.
Bye.